Live and direct from the planet of Queens, New York, soccer senseis Rodrigo Salazar, Elis and Rodrigo. Today we're talking about USA versus Germany. Very surprised with the US's performances so far, showing a lot in this World Cup. I didn't see it coming, and I think at some point, in a couple, let's say in about 10 years, maybe the US will be a contender to win the World Cup. What do you think, Elis?
Yeah, I'm truly surprised with Rodrigo, as much as you are. I think they're one of the most physically fit teams today. And they've shown that in the last minute against Portugal and against Ghana. And it was a tremendous game to come back from conceding a goal against Ghana, but more enough to come back for one goal down and then overturning the tie against Portugal. Although in the end it finished the draw. Unlucky for them. But yeah, I mean the midfield trio has surpassed my expectations, and the absence of Altidore has not been truly felt.
Yeah, I mean, we have somebody like Clint Dempsey. We spoke about him in the past, and he's so good in the midfield, but also going forward. He's scoring goals. He really has been the difference maker. Luckily, they have somebody like him because it's hard to lose somebody like Altidore and not bring in Landon Donovan. What do you think? Was that a good thing from Klinsmann not bringing him in? I'm still on the fence on that. I think it would have been good to have on the bench, but what do you think?
It was. I'm somehow 50-50 decision making. I would say up to now you have to give hands up to Klinsmann. He's done it right. Donovan, yes, he's a very technically gifted player, but is he the sort of player that would run 90 minutes back and forth, covering grounds, playing on either flank? I doubt that. I think that with age, everyone loses their speed and their stamina. And we've seen this World Cup, this is a very young US side. The midfielders none of them has surpassed 30 apart from Jermaine Jones. But then again, he plays in a very competitive league in Germany. So
that was a great goal by him too. Defender scoring, that's big. It's great that that's going on. I mean, we were talking earlier about the African teams, how they've really been cracking under pressure, and they're farther away from winning a World Cup than, let's say, the U.S., and that's a big step for the U.S. Soccer Federation, U.S. Soccer in general. I was reading a really interesting article in the Wall Street Journal about how in Brazil, kids start playing in a smaller field, right? It sounds like a cliche, favela, but in a smaller area, as opposed to the U.S., where it's always like a thing where it's a soccer mom thing, you go out and big fields and everything. I think one of the things that the U.S. needs is that street smart, that mentality that is really gained in a small area, street soccer, et cetera, whatever you want to call it. Once the U.S. gets that a little bit more, I think the U.S. coaching should really maybe concentrate more on that aspect of it. I think the U.S. will do really, really well. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Rodrigo. That's where you develop your technique, your skills in a smaller environment, in a smaller field, where you don't have so much space. Where we see with the U.S. players, they're on top there in terms of stamina. They're probably the best fit team out there.
Yeah.
But can they perform under smaller areas of the field? Can they play that 1-2, that quick 1-2? That is to be developed.
And I've seen some of it by the U.S., but again, it's developing, and that's one thing that the U.S. really needs, like a midfield creator, like a Pirlo. Rest in peace, Pirlo, because this is his last World Cup. He played his last game against Uruguay. We're going to talk a lot about Uruguay in the next video. I'm very distraught with Uruguay's, let's say, performance, and Luis Suarez is biting. For me, the scores, I think Germany is going to win it just because it's Germany and they just throw so many things at you. Last game they threw in Miroslav Klose, who is not maybe the best player so far, in the Liga. I'm sorry, not La Liga, in Serie A, sorry. But he came in, super sub, scored it. So they have a lot of things in the arsenal that they can throw at you. So I do think that Germany will pull through. It's just, they're one of the destiny teams, one of the elite teams. I see a 1-0 scoreline. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I think a draw would benefit both teams, Rodrigo. If they tied this game, Germany would finish top of the group, and USA would finish second.
Yeah, and So you say a draw, I say 1-0, and there's supposedly there's like conspiracy theories about these two teams getting together and going for the draw. I don't think that's happening. I think that these guys are too competitive to want to go against that. And the conspiracy theory, in a nutshell, is that Klinsmann Joachim Low was Klinsmann's assistant coach. So there's a little bit of a parallel there. Klinsmann being German, et cetera, et cetera. There's no time for that. They're out there. These guys want to win. The U.S. is on a high, and the CONCACAF in general is on a high, which is great. But ultimately, I think Germany will win. Thank you for joining us on Soccer Senseis.